Chapter 39. Only in America, baby. I love being an American more than being a native New Yorker, and I'm louder than Busta Rhymes at a midnight showing of Higher Learning. Last year, I told my daughter, first thing in the morning, the Yankees won. I heard, she replied. That's why New York City never sleeps. Even more than Manhattan, I love my grand old USA, land of the free, and home of John Coltrane, Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, the Grateful Dead. The entire cast from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the band Boston, Bill Hicks, Gary Shandling, Margaret Cho, the Rev Bob Levy, Robert Townsend, Greg Giraldo, Richard Lewis, Nick DiPaolo, Mickey Mantle, Ed Koch, John McEnroe, Tatum O'Neal, Walter Matthau, Kirk Douglas, Darryl Strawberry, Dennis Leary, Mario Cantone, Gina Gershon, Madeline Kahn, Betty Davis, Seth MacFarlane, Pearl Jam, Nasty Nas, Andrew Dice Clay, Patrice O'Neal, Don Rickles, Brian Wilson, Hank Williams Jr., Marv Albert, Larry Bird, Howard Cosell, Jesse Owens, Jim Morrison, Cameron Crowe, Billy Corgan, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mean Gene Okerlund, Marv Albert, Walt Clyde Frazier, Shel Silverstein, Joe Perry, Danny McBride, Clarence Clemens, Levon Helm, Lou Reed, Patti Smith, Morton Downey Jr., Charles Bukowski, Mark Maron, Chris Rock, Rodney Dangerfield, Andy Kaufman, Red Fox, Dwayne Johnson, General Patton, Tennessee Williams, Theodore Roosevelt, Thomas Paine, Gore Vidal, Dick Gregory, Malcolm X, Miles Davis, Jack Johnson, Slash, Johnny Cash, Nikki Sixx, Mel Brooks, Doug Stanhope, Kurt Russell, Warren Zevon, Randy Newman, Dwayne Allman, Dickie Betts, the Zucker Brothers, Dolly Parton, Wayne's Brothers, Muhammad Ali, What's My Name? Walt Whitman, Chuck Zito, Golden Jew Adam Sandler, John Coltrane, Chet Baker, Henry Miller, John F. Kennedy, Jim Brown, Marcus Allen, Bill Walton, Jimi Hendrix, Joe Walsh, Brian Wilson, Stan Lee, Kevin Smith, Mr. Rogers, the Beastie Boys, Dennis Hopper, Larry David, Sly Stallone, Ace Frehley, Tom Kiefer, Poison, Mick Mars, Lenny Bruce, Bernie Mac, Jim Norton, Clint Eastwood, Jeff Ross, Patrice O'Neal, Vince Vaughn, Joan Jett, Marilyn Monroe, Joan Rivers, and our 45th president of the United States, still your president, Donald J. Trump. Why would I include the Big Don on this illustrious list of American heroes, dear to my heart forevermore? Because he inspired my children to hug Old Glory after I showed them a picture of our president doing the same. I showed my children a picture of our president hugging an American flag with his arms wrapped around tight, exuding a boyish, young at heart grin, screaming, I love my country because it represents a land where I was free to pursue my dreams and make ball busting great again. A place where his scrappy hard work was rewarded to become everything he dared to dream into doing and becoming his own way. Driving cross country to Los Angeles for my last semester of college was the most patriotic experience of my life. The surge and patriotic pride hit me like a battering ram as I drove around the Grand Canyon with Bruce Springsteen's greatest hits playing as the perfect soundtrack backdrop to all the wondrous, beauty-piercing, natural wonder. For the first time in my life, driving around the Grand Canyon, taken in such a beauty-spewing tapestry of sandblasted orange hues and violet shades of red bursts in color, it was impossible to not feel like I was in the haunting, holy presence of God's finger-painting best work. I also lived in LA for 6 years after spending my last semester of college out there, interning for a talent agency called the House of Representatives. I sold wine in California, took many girlfriends at day trips in Santa Barbara because I couldn't afford to stay at hotels when I sold wine. Because back then, I was so broke, my Hebrew name was under judicial review. How can my various girlfriend getaway adventures to Santa Barbara on PCH up through the winding hills of the Santa Anita Mountains to stop off eating the most delectable, scrumptious tri-tip sandwiches of my life make me hate America one bit? Knowing I get to take a PCH up through Santa Barbara for the most part, becoming at one with the mighty Pacific, where that lucky old sun, Brian Wilson's favorite muse, bounces, skips, and prances in a scattered, flickering, glorious light over such a breathtaking oceanic stretch of deep, soothing, soul-penetrating streams of blue. Now my son's favorite toy is the Blue Angel plane I got him after taking my 3 kids to their first air show. I'd never been to an air show before either. Just picture the parking lot scene of a Kid Rock show, but with more wide-eyed kids and not as much tore-up-looking talent from the 90s since Kid Rock went platinum. I have a framed picture in our bathroom with my son Arthur and his older sister Matilda posing in a old-school fighter jet with real-deal pilot helmets on and cool-looking shades on. You'd think they were posing for a Subway poster of a more child-friendly, woke remake of Iron Eagle for Nick Jr. Patriotism is taught at home. On President's Day, I taught my children this year how our first president, George Washington, freed all his slaves eventually and paid them reparations in the form of a giant buyout severance package. My children know about Lenny Bruce live at Carnegie Hall and how his attacks on organized religion, ruling by fear versus love, was his God-given American right to do so. Every year on the 4th of July, I bust out my original Dream Team USA tank top jersey from '92. That teaches your kids patriotism, folks, especially after stressing to my kids how Americans pride themselves on their killer work ethics. You also teach your kids patriotism by stressing how having our best U.S. college players lose to Spain in the Olympics the previous year because of Alonzo Mourning's unreliable hook shot from 4 feet away is unacceptable, and the winning-obsessed USA, USA. But then MJ, Bird, and Magic would follow the illustrious footsteps of other all-star American Olympians such as Jesse Owens, Edwin Moses, Carl Lewis, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Jackie Joyner Kersee. Can we make Usain Bolt an honorary American Olympian for the purposes of this conversation, considering his brash, super charismatic, obviously influenced by Iron Mike's big-time brash bravado personality in some capacity? My son's going to join the Boy Scouts next year when he starts kindergarten, which is as American as Reese Witherspoon getting pulled over for a DUI with her husband agent at Creative Artists Agency. I think she got off with a traffic ticket. It's nothing a $1 million residual check from Legally Blonde can't solve. Only in America, baby.